Marketer of the Day number 401, Jungle Scout. Search for profitable Amazon FBA selling opportunities and spy on your competition with Greg Mercer. Hey everyone, and thanks for listening. We're talking right now with Greg Mercer, and Greg is the founder and CEO of Jungle Scout, as well as a suite of other tools to empower Amazon sellers. And when he's not working on the software side of things, Greg continues to manage and grow his physical product brand. So we're going to talk a lot about Amazon tools, all kinds of fun stuff like that. How are things, Mr. Greg?
I'm doing fantastic today, Robert. Thanks for asking. I'm excited to be on the show. I know we're going to talk about a lot of good stuff in the next few minutes.
Yeah, and I'm excited to talk with you, and I know that like you are a huge big deal. It seems like anytime I listen to an Amazon podcast or when I have guests on the show talking about Amazon FBA, whenever they list their tools, like they usually only list, 3 or 4 tools, and a lot of the different things they use for like, research and for like feedback bots or like repricers and things like that. Those things sort of come and go, but it seems like every Amazon guest always mentions Jungle Scout. So I have to sort of admit that I did Amazon stuff a few years ago, but I haven't done it in a while. So I'm a little ignorant there. I haven't used Jungle Scout. I'm not even really 100% sure I know what Jungle Scout is exactly. So can you kind of get us caught up here?
Yeah, for sure. So Jungle Scout is a product research tool for Amazon sellers. So it shows Amazon sellers profitable opportunities for them on Amazon. So what I learned, and this is the same problem I had that caused me to start Jungle Scout, was a lot of people like understand how good of an opportunity selling on Amazon is. I know you've had some guests on your show like kind of talk about it, but most people are like, I don't know for sure where to begin or what I should start selling. So Jungle Scout kind of bridges that gap. You can go into it with zero idea of what products you want to sell on Amazon, and it'll show you like, okay, these are the good opportunities. This is where there's money to be made on Amazon.
Super cool. So this is a product research tool, and one thing that I've heard a lot about these product research tools is that maybe like when you're doing a research, you're not getting a full result list of things that are on Amazon. Like it only like sort of scrapes a little bit of Amazon at a time. Is that a real thing, or am I sort of on the right track there or not as far as these product research tools?
Good question. We have a couple different tools. Like one's just this extension. So the extension would show you everything on that page. We have another tool that's like it's called our web app, and inside there we have a database of Amazon products. And that might be kind of what you're referring to. Like we have like in our kind of database that you can kind of sort through to look for opportunities and good products and stuff. We only store so like Amazon on like even on the .com store, they have about 500,000 products, but there's actually only about like 40 million that sell like one a month or more. So there's a whole bunch of like books that have like they've been on there for 10 years and only sold one time, or like things like that, Yeah. So I guess in our particular database, we have over 99% of products that sell one per month or more.
Okay, super. So there's and I can definitely see that all the time. If I look at some book, the ranking is super low, or it has no reviews, or if I look for a product, it again has no reviews or not much of a listing. So I can definitely definitely get that a lot of products out there on Amazon are like they're listed, but they're not really selling. So good to know that your tool focuses on those that at least sell one or more. And so when someone uses your app, your program, what do they see exactly? Like, are there a list of like recommendations right off the bat, or do they need to search for keywords, or what's sort of the process?
Yeah, sure. So real quick, like I said, there's 2 different tools. So like the Chrome extension, what you would do is you just browse any Amazon page that has products on it. You could click this little browser extension if you have it installed. You would see a pop-up. And on the pop-up, it would show you like key metrics, like how many units per month that item sells, how many reviews it has, what the Amazon fees are, what the net is after Amazon fees. So that's like all the data that an Amazon seller would need to know whether that was like a good kind of like niche for them to get into, especially the unit sales. That's like what everyone really likes, like being able to see how many units per month these competitors are selling. So that's the one product. And that would be like if you already have some ideas, you're trying to validate ideas, or just like on a daily basis, you like to see how well these products are selling that when you're browsing Amazon. So that would be like the use case for it. For our web app, that's like our SaaS product. Um, my favorite feature in there is the one I was talking about, like the product database, where we've kind of like rebuilt Amazon's catalog in a way that's user friendly for sellers to search through. So what I could do with it, I'd be like, show me all the products that are selling, let's say 300 units per month or more, even though they have like less than 5 reviews, which would mean it's a really young listing. And then I could put in other filters too, like, hey, I only want to sell like small stuff because it's easier to ship. So only show me stuff that's like less than 1 pound, and only show me the products that have a poor quality listing. So now, as you can imagine, like if you start with 40 million products, but then you're only filtering on these items that are selling really well, even though they have low reviews, a crappy listing, and they're small and lightweight, then it's like, wow, that'd be like a potentially good opportunity for me. And what you'll find is like a whole bunch of like really weird stuff pops up, right? Like stuff you wouldn't really be able to think of if you're just like sitting around your office trying to think of product ideas. But the idea there is, hey, if this person's selling really well, even though they only have a couple reviews and a really crappy listing, then you can probably do better than them by creating a better listing, maybe making some other improvements, that kind of thing. You could probably take all of their sales and more.
That is super cool, and that sounds like a great way to find those sort of high demand, low competition items. If someone's just selling with a bad listing and they don't even know like how easily those sales are being made, sounds like really great to narrow that down and be like, okay, they sell more than this number of units, they have less than 5 reviews. It's the my criteria of what I want as far as like the size, the weight, poor quality listing. Super cool. And so if this information is available, and if everyone's using your tool, like, does this sort of ruin it for everybody, or is there just enough of a size of things for it to work out for everybody?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's a lot of people's concerns. It's like, hey, if other people are using this too, are we kind of seeing the same results and stuff? But what we've found is Amazon is just so massive. It's like really hard for someone like you or me or a lot of the listeners to like understand like the magnitude that Amazon operates at. And there's really just like not, like essentially like not enough sellers. There's not enough people like supplying on these products on Amazon to really keep up with like how much demand there is, especially like the US store is getting a little bit more competitive, like quite a few sellers, but like over in Europe, there's hardly like any sellers compared to like how much like demand a lot of the stuff is. So, yeah, they're just becoming such a behemoth, like they essentially need more sellers to like kind of please the appetite of all the customers.
Because it seems like more and more people are using Amazon for all these things, whether it's for like Prime or subscribe and save and all these different things. And so you mentioned in there that your tool works on other Amazon marketplaces, so not just the U.S. Amazon, but Amazon in other countries as well.
Yeah, so all in North America, so that's Canada, the US, and Mexico, all of the EU stores, as well as India.
Super cool. So that sounds like so I mean there's like all kinds of places where people can find these sort of easy to get into opportunities. And so do you have any interesting stories of either like yourself or someone else kind of using this tool to really make a big splash in the marketplace? I mean, obviously nothing that's like current or going on now, but I mean I'm sure you must have something from like a few months ago or a few years ago where you use this tool and like you said, like found something totally weird that you wouldn't have searched for, and then kind of enter the marketplace that way?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course we get all kinds of stories like that from our customers. In an effort to make sure I, keep all their products secret and stuff. I have launched like 2 products publicly myself through this case study. So I could tell you a little bit about them. So yeah, like I said, we're doing this case study. It's called the $1 Million Case Study. We're starting an Amazon business, scaling it to $1 million. We're donating all the profits to Pencils of Promise to build schools in underdeveloped countries. So our goal is to build 5 schools through this case study just by selling stuff on Amazon. So our first product were bamboo marshmallow sticks. So if you can imagine, these are like 3 feet long. They're bamboo marshmallow sticks. This one we actually launched like a year and a half ago. But I think I checked like last week and they had done like $310,000 worth of sales in 18 months. So that's one kind of like, so like right now in the fall time, they're selling like 50 or 60 units a day. So it's pretty crazy. So if you just like, if you're on Amazon right now, if you just search like marshmallow sticks, we're probably in the top couple spots. They're called jungle sticks. And they're just, like I said, bamboo, like 3 feet long marshmallow sticks for roasting marshmallows on the fire. So that's kind of like an obscure product. I can't really remember the last time like I roasted a marshmallow, but that was just like I chose that product just like based off the data, right? Like the data was telling me it's like in high demand and low competition and that kind of stuff. So we launched another product a couple months or 2, 3 months ago. Um, they're hooded baby towels. So like you may have seen like after babies get out of the bath, sometimes there's these little towels where they have a hood and has like kind of cute little animals on it or whatever. So same thing. We only launched that 2 or 3 months ago, but it's selling about like $10,000 or $12,000 a month worth of revenue. So again, like, I don't have any kids. I don't really know anything about baby products. But again, I just based solely off the numbers that I chose that product because again, high demand with low competition, good margins, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty amazing, that like you can be selling these products that like you don't have any interest in, you're not passionate about it at all. But just really like based off the data and just the power of Amazon, you can be pretty successful in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that is super crazy because I think that it's really tempting to kind of be lazy with that product research, and it's tempting to say, or I'm just gonna, sell a makeup item or a kitchen item or like a water bottle, a sports item, and so I really like stuff like that where it's like you use the software, use the data to find something that you otherwise wouldn't have thought of. So so bamboo marshmallow sticks and a hooded baby towel, super crazy. So
Yeah.
so when you so how did you find those bamboo marshmallow sticks? Like, do you remember? Do you know if you like did a certain search in your software to kind of land on that decision?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I did. And we did the whole case study publicly, so you can see like the videos you can watch over my shoulder as like I found that product. But yeah, I just searched for units I think that were selling like 500 a month or more, even though they had less than, let's say, like 25 reviews. I found that particular product because I also searched for items that had I think 3.5 star ratings or less. And actually what I found were some competitors at the time. They were getting relatively poor reviews, like 3 or 3.5 stars. And a lot of the bad reviews said that the marshmallow sticks weren't long enough, or, like they wish they were longer because like the kids get too close to the fire, their hands get hot, whatever, it's kind of like dangerous. So they were like 18 inches long. So instead I made one like 3 feet long, 36 inches, so twice as long. And from that, now I have like my average reviews like 5 stars. I think I made them a little bit thicker. I did like a little different point on the end. So I made like a couple small tweaks, but I didn't like invent bamboo marshmallow sticks, right? So yeah, I just searched something that like had, I think, over 500 units of demand, less than 25 reviews, and less than 3.5 stars on average. And my idea there was just to read the bad reviews, find out what people's problems were with the product, and then just ask the factory to make small changes to fix those issues.
That is super amazing because like you always hear about people doing their research or using a tool or looking over the data, and usually when you think about those kinds of things, you think about, they have a spreadsheet or they do the right filter or, the search based on the star ratings or number of sales or things like that. But you took it one step further. You not only narrowed down these product listings, but you went into the product listings and then looked at the comments, so that way you could hit the ground running and avoid those things that the mistakes that original product creator made without even having to go through those same mistakes yourself. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and Robert, I think it's like really cool because if you think back just like 10 years ago, probably these big companies were probably spending like tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars doing like these market research studies where they're figuring out what people didn't like about their products and improving all that kind of stuff. And now it's like just a very normal dude can just go on Amazon, just read the bad reviews, and you know exactly what's wrong with the product, right? So it's technology is awesome.
Yeah, it seems like it. And so you mentioned earlier that people use these tools for different purposes. And one thing that you kind of mentioned, like a good strategy, is to look at maybe some of your competitors with Jungle Scout and repeat that search on a daily basis to see how those people are going. Can you kind of unpack that a little bit and explain to us this whole idea of like doing a daily search using Jungle Scout?
Yes, you don't necessarily need to do a daily search, but it is cool to kind of like see how they're doing like over time. So what I meant there was just like the Jungle Scout extension that gives you like instantaneous results. That's like can kind of tell you how all the products are selling like that day, or it's a snapshot of approximately for a month based off that day's worth of sales. But yeah, there's not really, I guess, like too much to like dive in with that particular thing. More so just kind of what I was getting at there is that you can, at any given time, or I guess where a lot of people are is they're kind of like looking on Amazon on a daily basis, or, like, hey, I have a few minutes to kill. I'm going to look on Amazon, kind of look around at some different products, see how well they're selling. So that's what kind of what I was talking about.
Okay, and so along those lines, as far as doing the research, like, do you think is the problem either do people kind of do a quick search and then jump in without doing enough due diligence, or is the problem maybe people are using Jungle Scout for doing too many search and not taking enough action? Because like I have to admit, like I've thought a lot about jumping back in with this Amazon stuff, but then I just keep thinking, like, many times I search and I search and I search, and the next thing I know, I spent like 10-20 hours searching on Amazon and then haven't really taken any action. So I mean, do you have any guidelines for that? Like, do you recommend that someone, like, limit their searching, or say like I'm gonna limit myself to like 2 hours of research and then I'll decide on what product to make? Or do you think that they should just research until it feels right? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good question. Normally, yeah, I think some people, you're right, do get kind of stuck in like analysis paralysis, right? Like that kind of is one of the things, like with a tool like Jungle Scout, it gives you like a lot of data, right? So it's very powerful, but for like a brand new, some brand new into the space, a beginner, it can kind of almost be like overwhelming, right? Like, wait, like, do I need to be thinking about this number, or does that really matter? That kind of thing. So yeah, at some point, once you felt like you've kind of like gotten a pretty good education about like researching on Amazon, like I would probably encourage you to come up with a few different product ideas that you think would all be successful based off kind of like there's a little bit of this criteria that we've been talking about. And then at some point, like, you have to just kind of pull the trigger on it. That being said, I'd say a few people kind of getting hung up on this phase, but where most people, if I were to like give the listeners a quick tip of where most people go wrong on Amazon who aren't successful, they're actually the ones who choose what they're going to sell based kind of off like emotions or gut reactions or like their passion. So oftentimes I'll hear people, like they didn't know about Jungle Scout. They were just like choosing a product kind of on their own what to sell. So they heard that their friend was looking for this product on Amazon, couldn't find it, so they decided to sell it. Or they're really passionate about yoga, so they wanted to sell yoga mats, that kind of thing. So most people, that's where most people's downfall is, because like they're going into something even though it's not really like a good opportunity. The numbers don't support that it's a good opportunity. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Like, it's easy to be emotionally attached to it, or to make your decision based on anecdotal evidence. Like, just because your one friend was looking for this one thing doesn't mean that there's any demand for this anywhere else. I completely get that, and I completely can relate to maybe some people falling into that trap because it's just an easy thing to fall into.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, cool. So, this tool called Jungle Scout. There's the web app that allows people to do their research and narrow down a product. There's the Chrome extension, which allows people to look at a product and see how well that it's selling. And so, what's the price point on this thing?
Yeah, so like I said, we have two different products. The Chrome extension, it's just a one-time fee. You keep it for life. It's either $100 or $200, depending if you get the light or the pro version. And then the web app, there's a few different tiers. Most people go for the middle tier, which is $70 per month. So that's the one that has like the product database that I was talking about. It also has a couple other features called the product tracker and the niche hunter, which are other tools just to kind of help Amazon sellers make product research decisions. So yeah.
And can you explain what the product tracker and the niche finder both do?
Yeah, for sure. So the product tracker, what it does is it allows you to track any product on Amazon on a daily basis and monitor the best sellers rank, the inventory, and the sales for that particular day. So it's kind of like looking at your competitors underneath a magnifying glass. Elsewhere in our applications, we have like monthly sales numbers, but that's kind of like just like one snapshot. That doesn't really give you like the fine detail to see exactly how many they sold each individual day. So the product tracker, normally what I do, like once I have found, that, hey, I want to sell these hooded baby towels, I started tracking a lot of my competitors so I could better monitor maybe smaller trends, like, that they don't sell as well on the weekends, or maybe like more seasonal trends, or just things like that to like kind of give me the extra confidence I needed before I spent a few $1,000s to order this product. The niche hunter, what it does is it's pretty cool. What we've done is we've taken a whole bunch of real Amazon search queries from shoppers. So we have tens of millions of keywords, and these are essentially, you can think of a keyword as a niche, right? And then what we've done is we've looked at the top 10 ranked products for that particular niche, how well they sell, how much competition there is, and then we grade that particular niche. So we'll say, like demand is about 2,000 units per month in this niche. Competition, we're going to rank it 95 out of 100, so it's really competitive. Yeah, and then we kind of grade how well we think the overall opportunity is. So again, that's a way that you can go in, you can filter niches without having, like with all of the Jungle Scout stuff, you don't have to go into it like with any ideas in mind, right? It's built like to kind of do the reverse search. So it's like, hey, I have no idea what I want to sell. Just, show me all the opportunities that you guys have graded 100 out of 100, and then let me look through those.
Super amazing. So it sounds like you thought of everything, and within all that, like I love the idea of using Jungle Scout and using these tools to first of all find your list, to find like an unused or an untapped kind of product you could put in the marketplace and create, and then once it's there, start tracking those competitors to see those small trends. Like you said, you're looking for like is there a drop off in sales in the weekend or things like that, and so that sounds like a really interesting strategy there of you put yourself in there, but then also at the same time watch those competitors. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And so are there any like unused features like that, or things that you put into your system, you put into these tools that people aren't using but should be using more?
Yeah, there's a few little kind of like hacks with it that like most people aren't using. For example, one like really cool one, and these aren't necessarily like hacks, but these are more so just kind of like unused features. Like one would be you can add products to your wish list on Amazon, and then you can run the extension on that page. So that's another way to kind of like, it's a way to kind of like sort product ideas that like most people don't really think of. Another kind of cool little hack would be to go into your competitors' seller storefronts on Amazon. So that would list all of the products that they're selling. You can run the extension on that again, and you can extract all of the products in their whole entire store. And then you could filter, you could sort it by which ones sell the best. So you can kind of like spy on competitors like, hey, this guy seems to be doing pretty good. Let me take all 100 of his products, sort by which ones are the best, and then maybe those would be good potential niches for me to get into. So that's kind of a cool one. Another cool one that like a lot of people don't take advantage of, I don't think, is you can click on any of our estimated sales numbers and see approximately how many units that item sold each month for the past, like as long as we've been tracking it. So a lot of products for like 12 or 24 months. So you can actually see then like the seasonality, like if you did that for my marshmallow sticks, you would see they sell pretty poorly in like January, February, March, like starting in April in the spring, they start to do well. And then like spring through fall, they do well. And in the winter, it's kind of like the slow time. So you can kind of see that. It helps you spot seasonality with any particular product.
Super cool. So it sounds like there are a lot of new things that Amazon sellers can do, or maybe Amazon sellers just haven't been aware about this tool, or that they can do this really deep research, because you always hear about how like, oh no, what category is Amazon going to gate next, or oh no, what Chinese or competitors from China are gonna come on in and add the competition. So it sounds like this is a way to kind of get some of the edge back as an Amazon seller. And what also kind of comes to mind for me is that other Amazon sellers are probably already using this tool against us. So why not get Jungle Scout ourselves? That way we can sort of fight back.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well,
I
cool.
appreciate all the Jungle Scout love you've given me.
Yeah, well, like the more like features and like ways to use it that you describe, it just like it really blows my mind, because like I said, like back when I was selling on Amazon, I was just doing like the retail arbitrage stuff, and then my business partner did a little bit of the private labeling stuff, but it seemed like a lot of it was guessing and waiting, and then just like seeing what the competitors do. So like, I mean, I wish I had this 2 years ago, and if and when I jump back into Amazon, I'm definitely going to use it. And so, where should people go after they listen to us talking to you? Like, I know, like you mentioned, that there was that $1 million case study. So, is there an easy way for people to check that out, or should they just go and buy Jungle Scout, or what's the best path for someone who's listening to our conversation today?
Yeah, so if you just go to junglescout.com, we have a free resources section, and there's tons and tons of content there. Essentially, like we have everything that an Amazon seller needs, or an aspiring Amazon seller, an entrepreneur needs to know to be successful for selling on Amazon. So tons and tons of free content. A lot of people give us a lot of love for all like the free stuff that we publish out there. If you do want to follow along with the $1 million case study, that's probably like the best piece of content we have. You can go to junglescout.com/million. And like I said, we're totally transparently and publicly starting and scaling an Amazon's physical products company to $1 million in revenue. So it's pretty cool stuff. And like I said, also all the money we're raising from the stuff that we're selling on Amazon from this goes to charity. So it's pretty cool that we've donated almost $100,000 so far. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat thing to be a part of.
Super great. So all kinds of reasons to go to Jungle Scout and junglescout.com. Check out those free resources. Go to junglescout.com/million to get that case study. And then on top of all the great free information you get, also goes to a good cause. So I mean, it's win-win every single possible way. And so the way that that really blew my mind once is people, talking about how great Amazon is, which is the way they put it was like, okay, well, you think of, the old way of thinking was you make a website, you have it on Google, you have that SEO, that, listing in the search engine, but then on Amazon, it's way, way better because you have that listing in the search engine. The more sales you get, the higher you rank. And then on top of that, there are these amazing tools like Jungle Scout to check out these opportunities and to see how your competitors are going. So make sure that everyone listening right now go to junglescout.com/million to get that $1 million case study about the bamboo marshmallow sticks, and then also just junglescout.com in general to check out those free resources, to see the videos and blog posts and things like that. And then most importantly, grab your access to the Chrome plugin for $100 or $200, depending on which version you get. That way you can look at a listing, you can look at one of your competitors' storefronts, you can add products that look good to your Amazon wish list, and then see how all those are doing. And then the Jungle Scout web app, which is monthly, where you can do that product research. So lots of just crazy, amazing things going on with Amazon, it sounds like, if you use the right tools. So make sure go to junglescout.com to register yourself. And thanks, Mr. Greg, for stopping by and dropping some of this cool Amazon knowledge for us today.
Absolutely. Thanks again for having me on. I've enjoyed it.
You got it. I enjoyed it too. Please take a second to rate and subscribe to The Robert Plank Show in the iTunes store. It's free. robertplank.com/iTunes.